Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is George. I am your local loan underwriter and certified credit counselor. You clicked on this video today because you're going to be buying a car for your first time. One of your biggest purchases once you get out of high school and currently into college. So in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and be breaking it down, showing you how to go ahead and be able to be approved for a auto loan here today. Definitely don't want to miss out. Alright, let's go ahead and get started here today. So before we start the process, first you have to go ahead and understand what kind of person you are when you walk into a financial institution and apply for an auto loan. What us as underwriters will go ahead and see. So you will be what is known as a limited credit individual or a first-time car buyer. So essentially what a limited credit individual is someone that has very little credit or doesn't have credit at all. And that can be someone that has like a couple of credit cards open that they've been paying on for less than 6 months, or someone that's had it for 8 months, or an unsecured loan. The whole thing is that you currently don't have enough credit established to be able, for us as loan underwriters, to be able to determine what you are as a risk. So now that you understand what a limited credit individual is, then we can go ahead and move forward. So the next step you gotta go ahead and know is, what's credit? Credit is money borrowed that you agree to pay back plus interest at an agreed time with the financial institution. So an example of this would go ahead and be like, let's say if you went to your local credit union and said, hey, I would like to buy, or not buy, you would like to go ahead and apply for $500 line of credit for a credit card. You'll put in an application. It gets sent to someone like me, like a loan underwriter. We will review it. And if you are approved, which we are hoping that you are approved, then you'll go ahead and receive the plastic through the mail, where you can go ahead and go crazy and buy a whole bunch of things. But no, that's not how you want to go ahead and handle that. And I'll show you how you want to handle your credit cards in another video. So once you are approved, then there it is. You'll go ahead and sign a loan document stating you'll go ahead and pay for the credit card when you are using it. And go ahead and have the balance that you're approved for, when's your first payment, your interest, and additional information on the loan document. So that's essentially what is credit. Now moving on to the Alright, the next step is going to go ahead and be smashing that like button, because again, that is very important for the YouTube algorithm. So make sure you like and share with someone that you also may be knowing who is going to go ahead and be getting a car in the future. So definitely make sure, again, like and share to go ahead and also subscribe. So now the next step on this is going ahead and pulling your credit. You have 3 sources where you can go ahead and pull your credit. There's definitely a lot of options out there, but these are the mostly known. The first one is pulling it through www.annualcreditreport.com. That one is provided by the government. The next option is you can go ahead and pull them from the credit bureau themselves. Some of them you will have to pay, some you won't have to. I know with Experian you won't have to go ahead and pay, but with TransUnion you definitely will have to, and possibly Equifax. And then the other option you have is going through Credit Karma, which a lot of people definitely know about Credit Karma. What's good thing about Credit Karma is that it gives you both TransUnion and Equifax of the credit report. And make sure you go through your credit report to make sure there's been no fraudulent activities going on. So someone hasn't been like taking out credit cards in your name or taking out loans. So those are the 3 sources you want to go ahead and have, or go ahead and go through to go ahead and pull your credit. And again, it's very important for you to review it before you go ahead and apply for credit, so that you can go ahead and take care of these issues. Because let's say if someone did end up taking a credit card and then they haven't been paying it, they just charged it off, or they went in and charged the whole credit card itself, and then they never made a payment. obviously it's going to reflect bad on your end, because obviously we're going to think as loan underwriters you went ahead and the first line of credit you got, you charge it all the way up and you decided not to pay. So again, making sure you check your credit report before you go ahead and apply is very important. Let's go ahead and move on. So the next thing that you want to go ahead and do is calculate your DTI. You may be looking at yourself, what is DTI? DTI is debt to income. So essentially that is grabbing all your debts that get reported to the credit bureau and then dividing it by how much you make, your income, and then it'll give you a percentage. A lot of times whenever you go ahead and apply for a loan, that is another factor that we look into as loan underwriters. Are you able to repay this loan? So making sure that your debt is not over 50% of your income is definitely going to help you be able to increase your chances of being approved for an auto loan. So an example of this would be like, let's see if your total debts per month are $1,000. But let's say if you make $2,000 a month. Obviously, if you go ahead and do 1,000 divided by that 2,000, that equals 50%. So making sure you do this before you go ahead and apply, so you know where your debt to income is at, because sometimes it'll go ahead and go over 50%, and you may have excellent credit, you may be paid everything on time, but essentially if too much of your money is going towards your debts, that is looking like a red flag to us as loan underwriters. We're seeing, are they possibly struggling financially? How come they're not paying down all their balances? So essentially, we don't want to go ahead and overextend it with more debt, because then that's when you start working into the areas of a little bit possibly bankruptcy, because I have seen it with loans that I have reviewed through individuals that have files for bankruptcy. So make sure you do that assessment of your debt to income. We'll go ahead and, again, make sure that you don't go ahead and get into too much debt, and it increases that chances for approval. So another thing that you have to take into consideration, not a lot of people talk about this, but it's called payment to income. Again, you're asking yourself, what is PTI? And exactly just like I said, payment to income. So essentially, whenever you apply to dealerships, they work with so many different banks, credit unions, subprime lenders, which are mostly for individuals that don't have the best credit. So essentially what companies like Santander, Capital One, Ally Financial do is they'll grab your income and then they'll say, we'll only give you this much of a payment per month per your income. So an example of this we're going to go ahead and let's see if you made $3,000 a month. And let's see if the payment, the PTI requirement for the lender is 10%. That means the max that you can go ahead and get for a payment is $300, no more. So essentially how you get to this calculation is by grabbing your income and then timesing it by, I would say more closer to 15, but for the example, use 10. And then I'll go ahead and give you a income amount or an amount. So essentially that's what your PTI would be, which I think this is very great because it also keeps you out of getting to too much debt. So that's something else that's not really floating around there in the information, but making sure you look into your PTI. Another thing I want to go ahead and go over is applying for the amount. So don't go ahead and apply for something that is some outrageously high, like 30,000, 40,000, because you want that new Dodge Ram pickup or you want a nice sports car. You have to keep in mind, if you never have had credit in the past, the likely chance of you getting approved for an amount that high is not going to be so great, because again, we have nothing as loan underwriters to grade you as risk. You haven't been able to prove to us as loan underwriters you can handle something that high. Because if you do end up applying, either the loan will go ahead and be countered down to an amount that the loan underwriter feels that you'll be able to handle, or sometimes it will go ahead and be declined due to limited credit. So making sure that you also go ahead and pay attention to the amount that you're borrowing, it will definitely go ahead and help you and again, increase those chances for getting approved for an auto loan. All right, here we go. Moving on to the... All right, this is where my credit counselor kicks in. This is very important, so make sure you do pay attention to this part. So essentially, there's a rule out there that is called 24/10 rule. So essentially what this rule is, putting 20% down of the total amount financed, making sure you don't pass a 4-year term of paying off the vehicle, and make sure that it doesn't exceed 10% of your income. So remember the whole thing I talked about PTI? That is essentially what that 10% is. And make sure that you include that is not just your monthly payment, but also your insurance. The great thing I like about this rule is that this keeps you from getting into too much debt, especially with someone that's either new to credit or reestablishing credit because of possibility they had another auto loan that was just possibly too much and then just surrender it, and now they're trying to go ahead and reapply and rebuild their credit. So again, making sure you follow that 24/10 rule will go ahead and keep you from getting into too much debt, because again, you work so hard for your money, and for you to just pay so much someone instead of just investing in yourself and you just enjoying your money, because again, you work really hard for it. So again, making sure you follow that 24/10 rule will go ahead and keep you again from getting into too much debt. Okay, there you have it. You are now prepared to go to a financial institution to go ahead and apply for an auto loan. Go ahead and again, like and share this video to go ahead and again spread that credit awareness, because that's very important to go ahead and spread that credit awareness, to go ahead and make everyone as knowledgeable in credit as possible. And then all the links for pulling your credit will go ahead and be below. And also, if you have not booked your ticket for my event on October 19th, that'll be in the link below. Or you can go ahead and just go to www.mycreditrecovery.net. Go ahead and purchase your tickets, because I have a lot of information about credit that I want to go ahead and share with you guys, because I just don't want to keep all this information with me. So just go ahead and purchase it, and then it's going to go ahead and be an amazing experience. And any other services that you need about credit, again, just go to my website at mycreditrecovery.net and go ahead and stay tuned for some funny bloopers. All right, the next oh my god, this is where my credit, nope, not gonna work.